Most High put together. We gon' see. In times.
Serpents lurking, watchers watching, y'all sure I'll stay on point. They lurking. We under the covenant, we ain't got no other choice. Gird your loins up, armor up, cause it's time for war. We the generation that's gon' get on one accord. Serpents lurking, watchers watching, y'all sure I'll stay on point. We under the covenant, we ain't got no other choice. Gird your loins up, armor up, cause it's time for war.
Sorry guys, but some of you guys be like, I know black, I know black, I know black. Impossible, I know black, I'm Dominican, I'm Puerto Rican, I know black. Be looking just like me. Be having the same hair. I be touching you like, it's not the same, it's not the same. It's not the same, papi. It's not the same. They try to salsa that shit off. I be like, no, it's not the same. I know black. Negro nunca, nunca. I know no, nunca. I know black. I'm like, no, you black. No. I know black. Dominica. I go, I know, but you're black. No, papi. I know black. No, black.
You keep saying we, you know, and it's like your kind of connection with the black community, but you're Cuban. Like
I'm black first.
Yeah,
I'm black first.
So
what I always
ask,
tell
like,
people,
how you identify
but
yourself.
Are you full Cuban?
I'm full Cuban.
I thought he was black too.
I know,
but I am black.
No, everyone thinks that you are like the black lineage.
All right,
like,
so
you know, like,
let me explain how it works. You know, this is another thing that I feel like we as black people get caught up in, that
semantics
that separates us as opposed to uniting us. We get caught up in where the ship dropped us off versus where the ship picked us up. You know what I'm saying? We all come from the same root. It's just a tree with different branches. The same boat that picked up your ancestors picked up my ancestors. Only they dropped yours off here. They made a pit stop in the Caribbean and dropped mine off. But my ancestors still dealt with slavery. You know, still dealt with being, you know, having their family and their lives ripped from them, and having to come back from colonialism and slavery. You know, so, and it's not just African Americans, it's Afro-Cubans, it's Afro-Dominicans, it's Afro-Puerto Ricans. Like, all these people got to get out of their colonialized minds and stop thinking, oh, I'm not this, I'm this. Okay, yeah, you can be Latin, but you're black first.
And the separatism that takes us apart when we all have the same struggle. We all experience
100%.
the same struggle.
Because when I walk into a room, they ain't thinking, oh, we're going to give him a pass because he's Latin. Yeah. Or if a cop pulls me over, he's not like, oh, okay, I'm not going to shoot him or I'm not going to beat his ass because he's Cuban. No.
Let's look at her for a minute. Before we play this video, before we hear her voice, anything. I'm going to go old school for a minute. I'm going to channel my grandma, my great-grandma, my grandfathers, Pop, and everybody else in my family right now. Let me look at them features. Because, you know, in black American culture, we look at them features. That's what we do. We look at them features, and no matter what somebody say, no matter how light they are, we can tell. So let's look at her. Obviously, the lips. Come on. Really? Okay. The nose. Now, how many of y'all got a cousin that look just like her? Literally. The color, features, everything. Put a one in the chat if you got a cousin that look like that in your family here in America. They got the same color, features, whatever. Because I got people in my family that's her color and even lighter. And they come from two black parents. Two black parents. See, the artist today say he got a cousin that's black and look just like her. Yeah, but she's so different. She's so different, and that's why when we hear, before I play this video, when we hear them be on that, I'm colored, I ain't black, I'm Dominican, I ain't black, and then we just don't even play the video. Just look at you. You not nothing else. You just a light skinned. I want to say another word on YouTube, not the N word, but the other word. They still trip about it. You a light skinned black person. That's why people be saying something to you. But let's go ahead on and play. Let's go ahead and play what she has to say, and then we gonna follow up on this. So let's hear it.
Hey you guys, I just thought let me respond to this comment right here. I've been getting so much backlash, hateful comments on my Colored Swilco's video from all these American people. Now, I thought let me respond to let you guys know, my fellow American people, this video was not meant for you. I didn't ask for the video to go viral like that, but I was speaking to my fellow South African people. We understand the term colored people here in South Africa because in South Africa, you find white people, black people, Asian people, and then you find colored people like myself. I'm a proud colored. And I was speaking to my fellow South African colored people because that's how we silk press our hair. Now, you guys just come onto my video and comment whatever the hell you want to comment just because you don't educate yourself about what's happening in South Africa or what cultures we have in South Africa, thinking that the world only revolves around the US and the UK. Why don't you go and educate yourself? And I really hope that all you American people see this video and understand that in South Africa, we have colored people. It's an actual tribe here. It is an actual race. And I'm a proud colored.
Oh, you have to be with a white guy because you have to perfect the race. Oh, your hair, like, qué pelo malo. Ay, para ser una negra eres bastante linda. Oye, pero que negra fina. That's what it's like.
As an Afro-Latino, I've experienced all forms of racism. I've experienced racism that is very covert and passive.
Cuando uno va a solicitar trabajo, una de las cosas que te miran es el pelo. Te dicen que te tienes que peinar, pero ahora mismo yo estoy peinada.
I've also experienced direct racism, being called racial slurs. I've been told, why do I live in a certain neighborhood?
Cuando te dicen, ¿verdad?, que eres feo por no tener unas características semejantes a las características europeas, a las características blancas.
There's also a problem about colorism. It's people of the same race with different skin colors and they don't recognize their own privilege.
A lot of white Latinos, they say, oh, how can I be racist? I have black in me. Oh, my great granddaddy is black. But yes, you can be racist. Just because you use that excuse does not cover up the fact you are a white person and you have privilege over black Latinos.
I definitely have felt the privilege of being white passing.
Can you speak a little bit about colorism in Brazil and how it impacts interracial relationships?
Sure. The first time I experienced colorism, and at that time there wasn't this word colorism for us. For me, it's a new concept, but the practice is very old. It's an old practice. It's an old mentality, an old mindset. But I have an example in my own family. For example, my grandmother was black. She used it to tell her daughters, my mom and my aunties, to marry only white men. Why? To purify our blood from the African ancestry. So, one day I asked other black people in Brazil if they had been told the same story on their families, and they confirmed. Also, in other black families in Brazil, there was this mentality of purifying the blood by interracial marriage. So this, we call it in Portuguese, branqueamento. It's the idea that the more you get near to white features, you are being more good, more acceptable for society. It's no wonder that here in Brazil, even among black people, the black people we have light skin, many times they are preferred to commercial or TV roles, preferred over black people who's got darker skin. That's the reality. Nobody can deny it.
Brazil upon abolition, was faced with a question about the future of Brazil in the world, right? And having been one of the last countries to abolish slavery and seen as backwards and inferior, they were grappling with what to do with this majority Black population. How did they move forward and become modernized and become comparable to Europe and other countries that was modernizing long before the abolition of slavery, how they could compete. So in Brazil, there was a concerted effort at the level of government, the federal government, to eliminate and exterminate the Black and indigenous population through whitening, branqueamento. Embedded in the idea of whitening, of course, is the idea that Blackness and indigeneity are inferior, and that you're being European and white are certainly superior.
In today's video, like I said, we have this colored woman, and she's saying she doesn't like Black people. Guys, watch this clip, come back, and let's talk about it.
Don't you like the ANC or don't you like the Black ones?
I would say I don't like,
Be honest. You
I don't like the Black people.
Why not?
Just because we were reared in...
It's like that. I don't like Black people either.
There you go. So it's just, you don't like Black people. I don't like Black people.
It's like me, I don't like. But you don't have a reason for it. Then it's just pure racism, no?
It's not racism. It is how we were reared that way, and you just don't like Black people.
Are they so different? I mean, am I so different of you? Is a Black man a woman so different of you?
Yes.
In which ways? Enlighten me.
They might have the education, they might have the money, they might have whatever, but the fact remains is they're still Black.
So what? So what?
What? They're Black. It's just, it's a... When I grew up as a young girl, we had apartheid era, and that is how we were reared. The white man, then the colored man, then the Black man. And he's not sure. White man, Black man, white man, colored man, Indian, and then the Black man.
As wild and as tragic as it sounds, that is as simple as it is. This woman doesn't know why she hates Black people, and she doesn't know why she hates herself. She's been taught by white supremacists to hate herself, and in doing so also hate Black people. What she doesn't realize is that she hates her community. She hates her children. She will hate any child that is Black, assimilating. Anybody who looks Blacker than what she is, she's going to hate them. She has no idea why. This is why in the colored community there's still segregation amongst colored people, because they've been taught a thing and they themselves haven't thought it through. They haven't questioned it. They have no idea why they have the type of self-hatred and hatred for other people, other than it has been taught by white people for you to hate yourself. Truth of the matter is that Auntie probably has more Bantu, Nguni and Kwe blood than anything else, and she doesn't realize that she's been taught to hate herself. That's how simple it is. People don't realize what indoctrination really is. The math is as simple as kitchen slaves that have been taught to hate field slaves, and that auntie doesn't even know it. She hates herself, she hates her children, she hates her community, and she hates all her descendants. She doesn't know it, and she doesn't know why.
Esther, as a person who lived in South Africa for 7 years,
Yes.
you know who is a colored,
Yes.
you know who is everybody else there. I mean, I don't really fully understand that much. What do you think about this video?
First of all, to all my South African people, away my second, they are coloreds, they are blacks, they're whites. Now this woman, when she says, you know, it's even a pity when they asked her, what is it that you don't like about Black people? She's like, I don't know. Imagine. You know someone really does not like you, or they don't even know why they don't like you.
I don't like you, but I don't know why I don't like you.
I just don't like you. It must be deep hate. Yeah. But I think this happens, like she say that when she says like, I've just grown up to know that it's white, colored, then black. That's it.
Yeah.
So if you're black, then
you're nothing.
Yeah, you're nothing. It is showing ignorance. A lot. But yes, when she says that it's the whites, it's the coloreds and the blacks, I actually must say that in South Africa, according to my experience, guys, colored people are more racist to black people than even white people. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but it is just like that. But for colored people, first things first, I must tell you, there is no colored. The reason why you're called colored, because there is something called black in you.
The colored people of South Africa are the most genetically mixed people in the world, with genetic heritage from the Bantu, Khoisan, Southeast Asian, European, and Middle Eastern. Mitochondrial DNA studies have demonstrated that many maternal lines of the colored population are descended from Khoisan women. As a consequence of apartheid policies, and despite the abolition of the Population Registration Act in 1991, coloreds are regarded as one of 4 race groups in South Africa. Thank you and welcome to Off Artista Films. The colored community has a rich history that dates back to the arrival of the first Dutch settlers in the 17th century. These settlers brought with them slaves from Indonesia, Madagascar, and other parts of Africa, and through intermarriage, a new mixed race population was formed. The colored people were considered a separate group from the white settlers and the indigenous black population, and were subject to different laws and policies under apartheid.
It has been installed within us and our mothers and fathers and their mothers and fathers from a very young age that anything that is connotated with black is so wrong and so bad and so ugly. So I think that's why so many colored people aren't okay with being classified as black.
Before the Population Registration Act, what were we before 1950? We were black South Africans. We are black South Africans.
The law in the country tells us that it isn't, that we're not black. So we can't define ourselves as being black.
Personally, I am a black South African. I am a colored South African. So I think you can be both. I am both.
No. Darwin's book on human evolution, The Descent of Man, revealed him as what Dr. John West calls a virulent racist.
He did write extensively about how evolution by natural selection creates unequal races, and that in the evolutionary scheme of things, blacks are the closest to apes.
Darwinism is one of the most dangerous ideas in the world today.
Hosea Baxter directs reconciliation ministries at Crossroads Bible College. He says racism had always been around, but Darwin gave it an air of scientific legitimacy.
Blacks and Native Americans would be portrayed as savages or ignorant or people who could not be civilized, no hope of being civilized.
Baxter works with Dr. Charles Ware, co-author of Darwin's Plantation, Evolution's Racist Roots. Ware and co-author Ken Ham wrote, on the last page of his book, The Descent of Man, Charles Darwin expressed the opinion that he would rather be descended from a monkey than from a savage. In describing those with darker skin, he often used words like savage, low, and degraded to describe American Indians, pygmies, and almost every ethnic group whose physical appearance and culture differed from his own. Ware and Ham contend Darwin did more than anyone else to popularize racism. Another quote, one professor in the 1880s wrote, I consider the Negro to be a lower species of man and cannot make up my mind to look upon him as a man and a brother, for the gorilla would then also have to be admitted into the family.
Since blacks were somewhere in the evolutionary scale between apes and men, they did not have souls. And since they didn't have souls, some argue we don't even have to preach the gospel to them.
Slavery and segregation kept the races apart, but maybe even more dangerous was how Darwin's theories led to active eugenics.
The idea of trying to breed a better human being.
Baxter says eugenicists were asking,
how do we stop the breeding of these inferior races?
It led to the forced sterilization of 70,000 Americans, many of them blacks. And then along came Margaret Sanger, founder of what would become Planned Parenthood.
Margaret Sanger was very Darwinian and very much inspired by this overall idea that we're counteracting the law of natural selection by allowing people she considered less fit, whether it be because they were poor immigrants or people of other races.
Part of the impetus behind abortion was to annihilate the black race.
Planned Parenthood hails founder Margaret Sanger as a champion of civil rights. But one thing they don't talk about is the racism behind her fight to legalize abortion.
He gon' send his hand, destruction gotta come, that's how he get us out this lane. The devil working hard, trying to get us out his plane. His sheep hear his voice, so he can't get us out his hand. We gon' trust the Son of Man, blow your wings, Father. Your kingdom coming, we just trying to make it in, Father. Rather we